The Truth Girls. The Truth Girls.
Hi everyone. Well, yesterday I posted a vlog where I was talking about this new program they have in the UK where you're going to be able to use your Google profile or other accounts that you have with banks or stores as a form of virtual official ID to access government services. And I was saying why I think that this is another step on our road to having a microchip. And just after I gotten done with that report, I found this article. Texas schools punish students who refuse to be tracked with microchips. Well, they're not actually microchipping the students or anything, but they're making them carry ID badges that have RFID microchips in them to keep track of where the students are. And the reason they're doing this, as they explain in this article, is to stem the rampant truancy devastating the school's funding. So because the kids are truant, the school is losing funding from, I guess, the government. And so the solution they came up with was to microchip the students. I mean, microchip their ID badges. But is this really a solution? Maybe they should be looking at why the kids are truant. Maybe the kids are truant because school sucks. Why does school suck? Well, maybe for one thing, because when they're at school, the kids are treated like criminals by the school police, who fine them for things like throwing paper airplanes and engaging in other naughty but normal childhood behaviors. Maybe it also sucks because they're made to do things like give handprint scans and thumbprint scans, and they're subjected to stuff like biometric identification that violates their privacy. Maybe school also sucks because the kids aren't learning very much there. The US is ranking quite low in academic achievement these days. And maybe it sucks because the kids that are very smart and get very bored in this environment are then drugged with Ritalin. Ritalin use has gone up a lot in the last few years in the US and also in the UK. And most of all, maybe it sucks because the US educational system right now has been designed to deliberately dumb kids down. And you can read about this in Charlotte Iserbyt's book, The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. You know, honestly, if I was a kid and I was expected to spend my day in an institution where I was treated like a criminal and forced to give thumb scans and forced to sit through boring lectures where I wasn't learning very much and drugged and dumbed down, I probably wouldn't want to go there either. So maybe instead of microchipping the students' ID badges, what they should do is maybe make some overhaul changes so that school doesn't suck anymore, and then maybe the kids wouldn't want to be truant because they'd want to actually go to school. Because you know what? See, I was a teacher at one time, and I remember something interesting that I learned, which was an example of how a child's view on education could be turned around by giving it meaningful purpose. For example, you have a kid in a math class and a science class and an English class, and he's just kind of thinking, well, what's the point of all this? I'm never going to use it. However, if that kid opens up a business, one example that they gave was a kid who opened up a landscaping business. All of a sudden, he needed those English skills because he needed to write for his business. He had to write up contracts and proposals and stuff like that. He also needed math to do his accounting. He also needed some science knowledge for stuff he was doing, like making little ponds and things like that. So all of a sudden, everything he was learning in school, it took on a new perspective because it was relevant to real life. So I think that probably the approach that they're taking to academics is not ideal, especially for a lot of kids. And I mean, I'm not going to be the educational reformer here, but just to give my 2 cents, I think that maybe what they should be doing is improving the program so that it's relevant and so that the kids are learning things that they can then apply to real life after school. Maybe learning more skills and trades and things that are related to that. Maybe putting it in a more meaningful context overall. Because what they're doing right now is not working. And I feel really bad for kids who have to go to school and take their pills and face bullying and school police and all these kinds of things. your education shouldn't be like that. Your childhood shouldn't be like that. Our kids just deserve better. And the last thing I think that they need is an ID card with a microchip. It's just going to make them feel more violated, and it's just going to make them resent school even more. That's what I think. So let me know what you think. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.
Girls.